Again, we look forward to the challenge of playing the 49ers. We know they're a good football team, and be an exciting game, I think, for the fans. Two good teams playing each other. I know the city of Kansas City is on fire right now with excitement, and then we appreciate all the support we've had down here from our fans, and likewise the way you guys have handled yourselves as the media. We appreciate that and the support there. So we'll finish up today with a good practice, and then tomorrow with another good one. Tidy up the red zone a little bit tomorrow, and then we'll be ready for our mock game, and then ready for Sunday. So anyways, with that, time's yours.
Coach, back left here. Have you got a general sense of the support for you personally? There's been a lot written. Your players have talked a lot about this, about with your longevity in the league, the amount of success you've had in the regular season to win one for Andy.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm humbled by it. I'm very humbled by it. I mean, I've got great guys here, friends likewise around the league, been doing it a long time, so I appreciate that. But this game's not. This is about this team, and so the guys that have worked so hard to get where they're at right now, the players, the coaches, it's about the organization, and you'd love to say it's a one-man. That's not what this is. It's a team. It's a team effort, even getting to this position. So it's not about one person at all. And right now, my complete focus is on making sure that we as coaches do a good job and as players do a good job in the Super Bowl.
Hi, Andy.
How you doing?
So speaking of team, we saw you week 11 and the defense was still working to come together. Can you give us some perspective on the challenges of completely revamping a defense from coordinator to coaches to new players, and kind of what that takes and how you stay the course?
Yeah. So, in Bob Sutton's own way, he has a piece of this too. So those coaches built a nice foundation for us, and then Spags came in with this new coaching staff that we have on the defensive side, and really upped it, along with Brett Veach, bringing in a handful of new players that really fit into what Spags is trying to get done there. The guys have bought into what Steve has asked them to do, and they've done it even during the tough times. So they stuck together, knowing that, listen, if we just stay with the process, that down the road we'll be better. And they saw small increments, I mean tiny increments early of improvement, and then it kind of took off. So to where they're playing good football right now.
Coach, how you doing?
Gotcha.
You've been an advocate of Eric Bieniemy being the head coach, and you certainly said he's ready. Why do you think so many teams have passed on him the past 2 years? And how different is his role from Doug and Matt before him?
His role's the same as what Doug and Matt had. So he's a coordinator. He runs the meetings and does all the stuff that coordinators do with game plans and so on. So he and then he's the one that calls the plays into he's in communication with the quarterbacks. He's in every quarterback meeting. All the stuff that the other guys did, he did. So I don't know the answer. Every owner has the option of hiring who they want to hire and who they think will be best fit for their organization. I'm very partial to Eric because I know how good he is. I'm with him every day. I appreciate him more every day. I had him as a player and now as a coach, and so I've watched him grow in the profession, and he's somebody that an owner would never have to worry about. You can just turn it over to him and let him go. Just let him be Eric Bieniemy, and he'll lead your football team into greatness. So.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
My name is Richard Farago from Sport TV Hungary. Since last year's AFC Championship game, you have a slow start on 3 consecutive playoff games, trailing by 14, 24, and 10 points. What could be the reason, and how do you try to solve this problem on Sunday?
Yeah, so it's hard on the heart. You don't want too many of those. So I'm working on that. So that that's not the position we want to be in. But if we're there, then we know how to take care of it and work through it. I've got good guys that stick together, good locker room, good coaches. So they'll stick together and fix those problems if they arise. So, but that's not our objective. We're not giving points away. That's not what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Andy, like many coaches, you've had to make sacrifices when it comes to your family. Has it gotten any easier in Kansas City now that there aren't maybe as many time constraints as you shift from dad mode into gramps mode?
Yeah, no, I've got these 9 grandkids. It was worth all the headaches of the other ones, you know, getting them where they're at. But those 9 grandkids are awesome. So they keep you young, and at the same time make you feel old. It's kind of like sweet and sour pork. Where am I,
Coach,
Tyrann? Where are you at?
right here, Coach.
Oh.
I know you're talking about putting the defense together, and one of the guys that really came along mid-season was Mike Pennel. It's not a name that everyone's really talking about, but he really worked inside. Did you have the kind of idea that he would make the impact that he's made on the inside when you guys, and what were the discussions like when you brought him in season?
Yeah, so he's another Kansas City kid. We got a couple Kansas City kids, and he's one of them. He went to a smaller college, had an opportunity to get in the National Football League. We were able to pick him up, and he brings great energy. He's got great personality, and then he's a big guy, like really big. And so to be able to plug him in there in the middle has been a real plus for us. Helps us in the run game, and his attitude is top notch. I like the kid as a human being, and also what he does on the field.
Coach, your last stop before reaching the NFL was at Missouri as the O-line coach. I was wondering if you could reflect on your time there and what you took from Columbia into the league with you.
Yeah, no, I love my time in Columbia. The University of Missouri, I hold close to my heart, man. That's a great place. You know, we weren't as good as we wanted to be, but we were on the rise when I was there, and had a chance to play Eric Bieniemy and that Colorado team, and they cheated. So it took them 5 downs to beat us. Yeah. So I remind them of that often. But what a great opportunity though it was working for Bob Stull there, and getting to know the people of Columbia. I mean, it was a great place, great stop.
Hey, Andy.
How you doing?
I remember 3 years ago you told us, look, Alex is our guy, but wait until you see this kid. So from 3 years ago to now, just how you were in love with him then. How has Patrick just kind of evolved and continued to just to grow?
Yeah, and you've been right there. I mean, you've done a lot of our games, so you know that he's a great kid, first of all. And so you're getting a kid that grew up in a locker room, so he's got a feel for that. He understands the leadership role that he's been asked to, or put in by position, and how important that is. And he's got that innate ability to lead. So you give him a little guideline on that, and he takes it and goes. I'm not sure he doesn't have a photographic memory, because you give it something to him one time, and I don't know how to measure that, but you give him something one time and he takes it and runs with it, and he doesn't forget. We throw a lot of verbiage at him for these plays that we run every week, and he's able to make the other ones evaporate and put the new ones in, and without any flaw. So it's he's special that way. And then he's got great vision on the field, so he can see, and which becomes important for quarterbacks, and in particular the way he does things. So he utilizes all his receivers, and I always tell the guys, I said, there's never a dead route. There's no clearing routes or this. Everybody's alive because of his vision. He'll see you and shoot you, and you better be ready. So, but I like the way he goes about his business, and he still has plenty of room to grow, which is exciting.
Hi, Coach. Seeing the last year's game against the 49ers, week 3, if you go back, you see that they were very tough and that they were very. The final result was 37-24, but if you see the game, it was very close until the injury of Garoppolo. Does that make you so nervous, or you think it's going to be hard?
Yeah, no, listen, I respect the heck out of him. I think Jimmy, they decided they've been running the ball here, but Jimmy, if you really look at his quarterback ratings, his percentages, all the statistical facts about him, you see that he's a heck of a quarterback throwing the football. So you've got to, when you come in to play the 49ers, you better be ready to play a complete game in the run and pass game, and you better be ready to do it for 4 quarters. And so that's how we're preparing. And we love the challenge. So it's not about being nervous. It's about loving the opportunity to play against a great team in a great setting. And that's why we do this. So that's the exciting part of it.
Good morning, Coach.
Hi.
With Pat having won MVP last season, and it's expected on Saturday that Lamar Jackson will win it, do you get the sense that there is a generational shift at the position with 2 really young guys having won? And is there anything notable about if Lamar wins, it'll be back-to-back black quarterbacks?
Yeah, so first of all, I think it's great for the NFL with the young quarterbacks in the league. I think you got those old guys that are still kicking, man. They're doing a heck of a job in their 40s there, so which hasn't happened very often. Now you bring this influx of young quarterbacks, and they're all different, right? They're all different, and so I think it's great. I think it even goes back further than that, though. I think if you go back to the college game right now, it's so exciting. They're spreading the field out. These guys are throwing the football. When they come in to the National Football League, and you probably backed it up another step. They're doing that at the high school level. So football's in a good place for throwing the ball. And color aside, right? Color aside I think is just great. I think it's great for the game, and it's exciting. So the league is in good hands here with these guys, and they're good guys too. I mean, they're good people, and that's excellent for this game.
Hey, Coach. I'd like to ask you about the process that went into discovering Duvernay-Tardif coming out of McGill in 2014, and where his story and his intelligence ranked in the players you've coached over the years.
Yeah, Larry Tardif. Yeah. So we were able to evaluate him in the All-Star games, and then some of the tape that he had from McGill. Larry obviously is French-Canadian, English being his second language, and he still doesn't have all the words down. So he'll ask us questions, and it makes everybody laugh. But I tell the guys, don't laugh too hard because he might be doing surgery on you one day. So he might have the last laugh. He's a talented human being, very intelligent, loves to play the game, big, strong. We're fortunate to have him with us. We're done?
Tyrann, big talk of the rebuilding of the defense was also the culture change. You're one of the guys that's been given credit for that. You and Frank. Was that something when they signed you that they talked about, that they wanted to change the culture, the toughness? And how do you go about doing that? Do you walk into the locker room one day and make a speech? How did it come about?
I mean, obviously, I think, before I got here, it was a point of emphasis to kind of get guys with some attitude, some, a little chip on their shoulder. Obviously, I feel like me and Frank bring that in. But it's not anything special we do. I think it's just our character, really how we practice each and every day.
Hey, Tyrann, during the stretch early in the season when you guys lost 3 of 4, what was Coach Spagg's demeanor, and did he do anything different? Did he change? Or what was he like during that stretch?
Well, obviously he was emphasizing certain things that, we had to get better at. Felt like it was small stuff, real small details, which I feel like he do a great job of, really being a positive voice for us, very encouraging. We don't feel like he's ever wavered, throughout the season. We feel like he's been the same guy, and I think really that's what's kind of helped us get better as well defensively. Knowing we're walking into a room where, someone believes in us, he's encouraging us, and, at the end of the day, we're not that far off from, doing some of the things defensively that we wanted to do.
Tyrann, when you go back and study Jimmy Garoppolo's year, you look at the interceptions, have they mostly been ones where the defense got him, or have there been some bad luck ones? How would you characterize his turnovers, and is it something you guys think you can take advantage of?
Well, I think, first and foremost, they have a great system that they run over there. I feel like Garoppolo is doing a great job really, finding guys that can really take advantage of certain coverages, certain situations. He likes to get the ball out quick, which kind of goes into, the kind of guys that they have on their side of the ball. So, guys that can run after the catch. So it'll be important for us to kind of, disrupt the timing, slow those guys down. He does have, a hard time throwing, in tight coverage. Most quarterbacks do. So I think ultimately that'll be the goal for us to disrupt these guys at the line of scrimmage, play tight coverage, and then try to make a play on the ball.
Tyrann, I'm just curious, obviously you go from LSU to Arizona to Houston, now Kansas City, and you've seemingly grown so much, both personally and professionally. What would this Super Bowl win mean to you just on a personal level for your journey?
I mean, it'll be humbling for me. For me, it's about, the people that's around me, and, really feel so fortunate to be around a great group of guys. But for me, it'll be very humbling to be a Super Bowl champion. I think that's everything you work for in the off season, to be in that position. So I think that's my goal, to try to go out here, help my team win a game, but remain humble.
Tyrann, how has the Super Bowl week been? I mean, you hear about the experience and what it's going to be, and it can be overwhelming for players. How do you think you and your teammates have handled it so far?
I think we've handled it pretty well. We're a really young team. We're vibrant. We're full of energy. We love to live life. A lot of these guys have a lot of passions, outside of football. But I'm really proud of our guys. I feel like, even last week, we took advantage of that work week. We tried to get as much information as possible. And then this week, obviously it's about, fine-tuning on that information that you received. And, I feel like our guys are doing a good job of really just focusing on football, and I think as a leader, that's everything you can ask for from your teammates, to just focus on the game that's ahead and, try your best to prepare the right way.
Tyrann, Troy Polamalu is on the ballot for the Hall of Fame. Just curious what your impressions of him were growing up watching him play.
I mean, Troy was probably the epitome of, playmaking, using your instincts, being football aware, just those football 101 things. I feel like, he was in a different, element when it came to other players. He always, for the most part, made the right decisions. And, we joke a lot about, guessing the right way. feel like Troy guessed the right way his entire career. His anticipation, just everything he was able to do, even after he caught interceptions, being able to really show the world that athleticism, so I'm so proud for him, so happy for him.
Tyrann, I was talking to Coach Spagnuolo yesterday, and he was talking about your leadership qualities. And one of the things he said, it was a small thing, but you come in early to meetings, you sit in the front row. Have you always been a front row guy, or is that something that kind of happened over your career? And if it wasn't something you did before, when did you kind of pick that up, and why did you do that?
Well, I feel like, I've been inching my way closer as I got older. I can remember my first year in Arizona, I sat in like the third row. So I've always been a front of the room guy. I've always been a kind of football player that, just tell me to call, coach. I took all the notes in meetings, kind of know what's going on. So, I think sitting in the front of the room obviously gives you an advantage, makes you feel like, you're more involved in the process. And, obviously teammates look forward to that. And, you can see those guys scooting up as well. So, for me, it's just trying to be a positive reflection, really, of all the guys that have tried their best to lead me, show me the right way.
Hey, Tyrann, Jacob from Fox Sports Mexico. How cool would it be for you to win the Super Bowl in the same season that LSU won the Natty? And could you talk about your life experience, how in a way it could be inspiring other people off the field and off the field as well, because of everything you've been through to get to this point?
Yeah, I think, well, to answer your first question, so proud of LSU this year, and, Coach O, I think, when he inherited that program, I don't think a lot of people would have thought he would put, that program in this position. So hats off to him and, all the coaches and the recruiting staff and, Joe Burrow, all those guys have really, played great football for the program, and not just for the program, but for the state of Louisiana. And I think former players like myself appreciate those guys, appreciate the coaching staff. I think for me, it's all about falling forward, just trying to live my life, taking one day at a time, right? Trying to be in the present. And, I never really try to look forward to the future. I reflect on my past a lot. It gives me great strength and hope and encouragement. But, I try to be where my feet are, and I think that has helped me out a lot. And, I will hope that a lot of kids out there, heard what I just said, because I think we can get caught up in things that are behind us and things that are in front of us. We forget about the now. So, that'll be my message to the kids.
Tyrann, you've given Patrick Mahomes a lot of credit for the way that he's able to lead this team as a quarterback. And not just that, but the way he's been able to do it just 2 years as a starting quarterback in the lead. As the leader of the defense, or one of them, how important is it to have a quarterback who's able to lead the way that Mahomes does?
I mean, it's extremely important. We got a lot of personalities on the team. I feel like every team has great personalities. None of those are greater than a quarterback. I feel like those guys are, obviously right under the head coach, and, I feel like their energy is felt, more than any other position group. I always talk about him just being, such a cool guy, so down to earth, man, and to have all that success, you can kind of forget about, who you are sometimes. I think he stayed true to that. I feel like he's always been a leader. That's how he walks, that's how he talks. And I think as a team, we feed off that. We know that we have a confident quarterback, obviously a quarterback that can get it done athletically, but mentally he's strong. And, so when we're down 24 points or, if it's the fourth quarter and we need a play, we know that our main guy is one of the strongest guys, and I think that gives us great hope.
Tyrann, we talked with Chris Jones yesterday, and he talks all about Sack Nation. I think he ends every sentence with Sack Nation. What is Sack Nation? Who's in, who's out? Tell us about the club.
Yeah, well, apparently, I've been inducted into Sack Nation. I think I have 2 on the season. But I think it's just a group of guys that's, all about getting to the quarterback, right? Those guys take great pride in that, and they've been trying to get better and better as the season goes on. And, I feel like Chris is excited for this game to be able to be healthy coming into it. He's missed a few games for us, but I think he's extremely proud and excited to get on this stage and, really introduce the world to Sac Nation. Yeah.
Tyrann, we talked about this a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but there was a point in the season that odds makers had the Chiefs as the favorite to go make a trade for Jalen Ramsey. That's what this team needed. It needed help in the secondary. You finished with one of the top 10 pass defenses, top 10 points allowed. How, as you reflect back, did that motivate you and your unit as a whole in the D backfield, and how much has it evolved since that time?
Yeah, I mean, we've been motivated since we came in here. I think our DB coach, Dave Merritt, he made that clear. This is what we're up against, and it's just us, right? Like, we're the only ones that believe in us. So, really proud of our guys because we really committed ourselves to the process, right? Each and every week, still Super Bowl week. We're still doing the same little things we would have been doing in Kansas City. I've watched rookies come in front of the room, present the proper information. Juan Thornhill. I've watched guys like Dan, Armani Watts come in front of our room, and present the right information. So you could tell that, we've created this culture here on the back end that we're going to win some football games because of our secondary. So that's how we feel. Appreciate it.
Hey, Brad.
What's up, Pat?
How you doing?
Good, man.
Good.
Got a question for you. Let's start this off. You've talked so much about the extra preparation. Anytime you have a moment to watch some more film, you're utilizing it. Is there a fear of over-preparing? And with all this time, have you uncovered anything in this preparation that maybe you haven't done in a week that you've seen?
Yeah, I think there's never a fear of over-preparing. As long as you're staying in the same process, watching the film, making sure that you go back and watch the most recent film and not stay with the stuff that you've kind of watched in the past. I think you're pretty good to go. And, I mean, there's stuff that you see more times you watch it that you can help you recognize stuff so that you can go out there and diagnose stuff as quickly as possible.
When you go and visualize what happens on Sunday and you play that through your mind, in that process, tell me what you're seeing, and is hoisting a Lombardi Trophy part of that visualization?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you have to visualize it if you want to go out there and do it. And so for me, it's about going out there, just executing the game plan at a high level, trusting in the process, trusting in my teammates, and not trying to do too much. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the way they play together, the way that their defensive line, linebackers, and DBs can all play as one unit. They really understand the scheme. They understand what the defense coordinator is calling, and they do a good job of executing at a high level. No, I always had the game on my mind. The reason that we're here is to play a football game. I mean, that's the main reason. Obviously, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have fun. That's just who we are. I mean, we do that every time we step on the field. But we understand that the one goal is to go out there and win a football game. Yeah, I think you understand that you don't get these opportunities all the time. I mean, you have to go out there and really take advantage of it. I'm with a great group of guys that I want to go out there and execute and have fun and win games with. And so we understand that it's a lot happening, but we're enjoying every minute of it and having fun doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's well-deserved. I mean, the way that his work ethic is, the way he treats people, I mean, people love to go out there and support him in every single way. And he's a coach that's won a lot of games. He's had an amazing career, and obviously we want to win this game, the big Super Bowl, and put that on his resume. But, I mean, he's someone that's been successful from day one, and he's still successful now. Yeah, thank you for all your support. We love being able to go down there at Azteca and play, and it was amazing, and I appreciate y'all's support. Yeah, I think the mobility will be something that I'll have to utilize. I mean, when you have a pass rush like this that can really get after the quarterback, not necessarily mobility running down the field, but mobility in the pocket, being able to move the pocket whenever I have to and get the ball out of my hands will be very important. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of nerves whenever you're playing any game, but for me, I'm enjoying it. The best thing about this team is that we have fun, no matter what the stage is, no matter where we're playing, and I think having that mentality is let us play loose, let us go out there and just be who we are, and I'm just going to treat it like any other game week and get there and try to just go out there and have fun. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, when you have that many great players on the defensive line, they're gonna be a challenge. But we have a pretty good offensive line that has done a really good job in this postseason, and I'm gonna trust in them that they're gonna protect and give me time to get the ball out of my hands. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a favorite usually everywhere we go. I mean, I remember going with him to Atlantic City for the Maxwell Awards and just seeing the love that Philly had for him. And it just everywhere you go, I mean, just the way he treats people, you can tell that they really love him. They really care about him. And, I mean, obviously we want to go out there and win this game.
Sam linebacker I've ever played with, Kelly Gregg, Justin Bannon, like I've always had personnel. So, you know, with that being said, you know what I mean, I was able to make my career go long.
favorite part of being Chief? I know you've been with Baltimore.
I'm sorry, I can't.
I know you've been with Baltimore and briefly with Arizona. What's been your favorite part about being a Kansas City Chief in Kansas City?
I would have to say mainly it's the culture, the history, and when I was a Raven, we always clashed, with the Chiefs. But now I see why, because the two teams have so much in common. Just from the histories of the cities, how the personalities in the locker room. Baltimore's head coach was under Andy Reid, so everything that the two teams do are very similar. And like I said, I think that's mainly it, though, being definitely a part of the Kansas City Chiefs culture, and not really, always been on the outside of Kansas City, not knowing, just how special it really is. So.
Being back at the Super Bowl.
I mean, some days I feel like he might blame it on nerves, but some days, it's just the ball flies out of your hand a little bit different. And it was mile high his first time playing up there, and it was negative whatever degrees. So, for him to be able to just throw the ball in that weather is one thing. But to have a game like he had, shows just how well he is at seeing what's happening, adapting to the change, or figuring out the situation and feeling comfortable as the game goes on. Oh man, we're all enjoying each other on the team, enjoying how crazy this has all been. But it's when we're out there working, we're out there with a purpose. Oh man, everybody's been dialed in. It's a good 2 weeks of practice, really. I want to say no, but history has told us different. I mean, we haven't always had the ability. Well, we haven't always seen a Super Bowl with the first and second team All-Pro tight ends going at it. I don't know if it's ever happened in history. I don't know much about it, but it's definitely cool, and it's I'll cherish this one with 8-5 over there, and he's a hell of a player. I mean, that's been one of his staples throughout his career, and he was a tight end coach over at Green Bay, I believe. So he knows the position very well, and I'm sure when he was coaching it, he wished his players had a little bit more opportunities to catch the ball, knowing how big of a mismatch the tight end room can be. Oh yeah.
Because it seems to be important to them too.
Yeah, no, I watch them, specifically Chicago and Philly, because they have great tight ends. And Ertz, I mean, I've taken a lot from Ertz's game, even from college. When he was at Stanford, me and him came out the same year, and our senior year, I was taking things that they were doing over at Stanford, and I was trying to incorporate them in my game way back when. And then obviously now that you can watch Ertz every single week and learn something from him. He's got a creative mind, so it's just learning from it from that perspective. And then on top of that, Nagy and Coach Peterson. I mean, those guys watching, seeing how they schematically go after teams. You can learn a lot from that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's helped me be able to find different arm angles and still be accurate. There's definitely some differences as far as how you release the ball and the throwing motion, but it definitely built arm strength for me early in my life, and it's helped me translate to this game. Yeah, I've been blessed to have a lot of veteran guys around me. It's really helped me being able to recognize coverages, diagnose stuff quickly on the field. Watching the film with these guys and seeing how they watch the film and their perspective has really helped me out a ton. I mean, just being out there, seeing blitzes that I may not have seen before, but they have, and they're able to help me with that stuff. And so when you have two veteran guys like that, you get a lot of experience just being in the room with them and learning from their experiences that you might not get as a young quarterback. Yeah, I think it shows up sometimes. I remember, for one example, me and Kyle Shermer were making like a SpongeBob reference, and they had no idea what it was, and that's just because they're the grandpas of the room. So they like to talk about other things that we don't quite understand. So I went back and watched movies like Top Gun and Christmas Vacation, so I could understand some of the references that they were saying in the room. The very first time was in probably my sophomore year of college. So I did it. We were doing it kind of in the net. And then me and my buddy Nick Shimonik, who played quarterback with me there, started trying to do it in practice, and we started going back and forth with it. And it was kind of a competition thing at first. And then I did it for the first time in a game, I believe, against Oklahoma State my junior year. Yeah. No, that was a little bit before my time, but I did watch basketball players and just how I played basketball, so you have to you mess around and do stuff like that, and so it was something where I never thought I would do it in the game, but it just happened. Yeah, I think the best thing about the quarterback position now these days is that there's really good quarterback play everywhere. There's young guys like Lamar, Deshaun, me, and a lot of other guys, and then there's still the veteran guys with Big Ben, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and it really there's a wide spectrum of guys who play the position different ways but still have success doing it. And I think it's great for the NFL that we have guys everywhere that are playing the position well, so it's going to lend to a lot of competitive football. Yeah, I mean, it shows you how the game is evolving, how no matter where you come from, you can go out there and play the position that you want to play and have success doing it, and you don't have to do it in a certain way. And so it definitely is showing that just to go out there, for little kids out there, follow your dreams, and you can be at the spot you want to be at if you put the work in to do it.
And it sounds like we'll hear from you during the game with being mic'd up. Are you excited about that? The world will see what Frank Clark's all about. That'll be great.
That'll be pretty cool. And I look forward to it. For sure.
Is working through practice and building those instincts to know where the other one wants you to go or really where Pat wants me to go, and me being able to get there at the right time. But I feel like just a lot of I don't know, hanging out with the team and building the chemistry and making sure that we're doing the right things. Okay.
What's your preparation been like this week? Like, what have you taken into consideration, and what have you done to prepare yourself for this game, one of the biggest games of your career, arguably, just as the best tight end in the league? What else was mind? What did you prepare for? Your preparation, how did they go?
That's a good question there, Nicole. I really just I work on keeping my legs loose. You know what I mean? I work on mentally just being able to last an entire game. I'm gonna let the fast guys on the squad just take care of all the playmaking. I mean it's really not I get all the scraps. You know what I mean? Everybody else gets the big stakes. All the fast guys get to the meat faster, get to the food faster. So I'm just, I'm trying to pick up the scraps at the end of the table. Yeah. Uh-huh. You know what I heard a wise man once say, a hungry dog's going to run faster. So, I mean, it's if you hungry, you're going to get what you want. Thank you, Nicole. Have a good day. Speed kills.
Kobe on Sunday?
not.
24s or 8s on your sneaker?
I'm not. I wanted to wear a game. I wanted to wear a jersey of Kobe's to the game. And I still haven't found one yet. I wanted to do that. You know, I had thoughts about it. You know?
We're not going to. Dinner good last night? Dinner good last night?
It's great. Family loved it, man.
They hadn't been before?
They've never been.
Oh, that's special, right?
Let me tell you the funny thing about my family, right? So we sitting there, and my family is from South Georgia. They've never seen like a Stephen A. Smith, Aaron Donald, or just anybody. So Stephen A. Smith walk in the building, and you know Prime is like a big time restaurant in Miami, right? So Stephen A. walk in, these people literally start screaming loud. Everybody turns around and just start looking at us. I just put my head down and just walk away like, hey, I don't know them, man. And like they literally went crazy over Stephen A. Smith. Wow. I'm like, Mom, like you was literally talking trash about him the other day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially Alex. I actually still talk to him now, but he would take me out there. I'd hit off the tee with him while he was getting extra work in. I would take ground balls on the field with him, and I got to see how hard he worked, and it was amazing. I mean, when you think of a guy that's at the top of the game, who's a superstar. As a little kid, you think he just goes out there and he can just do it. He just hit home runs. I'm sure he could have, but he would put in the extra work. He's one of the first guys to be there every single day. And so to see guys like that definitely instilled in me that I had to work hard if I wanted to be a professional athlete. Yeah, I mean, he just told me, kind of like I said, he told me to go out there and just do what I've been doing, just to enjoy it. He sent me a message earlier in the week. Yeah, I mean, he's going to let me go out there and be who I am, but he did text me and just tell me to enjoy it and have fun doing it. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I didn't get any advice from J-Lo. I have not got to meet her. Hello. Yeah, usually on Saturday nights, a couple guys, led by Anthony Sherman, go to one of the rooms, and we usually watch live PD. So we watch live PD or a football game, whatever's on, and that's like what we do. I mean, so I just kind of hang out with the guys, kind of building that bond. That brotherhood is definitely, I think, translated to the field. Yeah, I mean, you understand the magnitude of where you're at, but at the same time, you try to treat it like any other game. It obviously will be remembered for a long time if you win a Super Bowl, especially for Kansas City. But for me, it's about going out there, having fun, enjoying it, taking advantage of the opportunity, and understanding what a blessing it is to be here.
It's pretty cool. No, like when guys get close, like my name starts popping up, just like in the mentions, like Chase Young did this year at Ohio State. He had a really good chance to do it, and then he got suspended, I think, for a game or something like that. So, you know, it was kind of bum. I wanted to see him chase it kind of thing. But I'm kind of happy my record still stands too, though, you know. And but also Elvis Dumerville, he had gotten like 20, and he had like 4 games left. And I was like, it's out of there. It's gone. And I guess they started like tripling him. So he finished with 20. So those were like the 2 times I was just like, oh, it's coming up again. But I figured, you know, it was so long ago, like nobody remembers. It's just a name in a book. Yeah, all records go. All records go. So, you know, these talented young, you know, football players can do nowadays is like mind blowing. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's definitely gonna go one day. They come to me periodically and, you know, ask for advice on how it was. Like last time I was here, what's the game like? And, you know, the best thing I just tell them and like enjoy this time of peace because Saturday night you're not going to be able to sleep. You know what I mean? And you're going to want to go over everything again and twice and 3 times. You're double checking everything. So I just told them, you know, whatever the day of the week it is, like Monday and opening night, I'm like, yo, enjoy this. What if this is the last time you're doing it? You know what I mean? Tuesday come, hey, enjoy it. It's Tuesday. We got Tuesday, you know what I mean? Wednesday, enjoy it. Handle Wednesday, and same thing as the message today. We got Thursday. There's nothing more important right now than Thursday. You know what I mean? Sunday is coming. Sunday will get here. You handle your business Thursday, you will be fine.
I don't wake up at 5. I don't. I wake up a little after 6 though. But no, but he's bringing the other guys along with him though. You can tell by just Juan, how he grew throughout the year. Just our whole secondary went from one of the worst to one of the best. You know, just because they had that core leader. So yeah, he's bringing all those guys along with him.
When he did the I'm too smart thing, what did you make of that? And it seemed like guys really enjoyed that, kind of got behind that idea.
Yeah, all he's saying is he watch film. Yeah. You know, he knows it's coming. That's simple as that. I mean, he's smart all because he's watching film. You know, he knows what's coming. And on part of that, he got great instincts. So yeah.
One kind of specific question about the game. The way that they use their fullback, you line him up anywhere, you can catch you. Does that put a lot of strain on you guys? Just kind of how you want to identify him? If you want to say, oh, he's a tight end or he's a fullback or he's is it put a certain kind of stress on you just to figure out how to regard him?
I guess if you're to say yes and no, because we're not seeing the players, we're seeing the formations. So if he lines up at a receiver spot, we treat him like a receiver. If he lines up as a fullback, we treat him like a fullback. You know, so I mean, it kind of changed the game plan, obviously, as it should. But we're chasing formations, not jerseys.
That makes sense. I guess it's more like it's like the.
Yeah, I think there's a part of it. I mean, the fact you have to go out there and execute as a team, everybody has to be on the same tune, the same kind of thinking, the same wavelength. I mean, it really is the greatest team sport there is because not one person can go out there and win the game. It's about a whole team, offense, defense, and special team, all communicating and going out there, going for a same common goal and executing at a high level. My hairstyle started off as a bet. It wasn't anything I was trying to go for. Me and my buddy were trying to see who could grow their hair out the longest, and I think I won. So I just kind of let it grow, and it somehow turned out the way it turned out. My buddy from high school. So we both were letting our hair grow out. It started my freshman year of college, but it was my buddy from high school when I went home my freshman year of college, Jalen Dews. And so we both kind of went out there starting as a bet, and then I let it grow out, and then the people at Texas Tech loved it, so I kind of kept it. It was my thing, and then now it's kind of became my thing in the NFL. I won't trim it for this one. I haven't trimmed it since the bye week, but after the Super Bowl, I might go out there and get it trimmed. Oh yeah, he'll be in. He'll clean up the sides, make it all clean, and everything like that. But no trimming this week. You never know. I think that's the biggest thing. I think with the two teams that we have playing, obviously there's two great offenses, but there's also two great defenses. And so I think I've learned this year that you can win games in a lot of different varieties, a lot of different ways. And so you never know until you get in the game. Obviously, as an offense, we want to score points, but we're going to do whatever it takes to win. And so whatever that takes, you never know.
Out, it becomes an explosive run play. We don't want that. So we've got to pick our spots. What we really need to do is be able to control the run game so we can get them in some passing situations and then maybe be able to get aggressive. But that'll be dictated by what we do on first and second.
In terms of preparing your defense for this game, how difficult has it been to feel like you've covered all the bases with San Francisco's offense? I mean, every team has a lot of weapons, but it's does seem like a very complete unit.
Yeah, very much so. And listen, they're not one-dimensional, they're two-dimensional. Everybody's talking a lot about the run game. We have a tremendous amount of respect for when they do decide to throw it. The weapons they have, the tight end's an issue. They got wideouts out there that can get open. The fullback coming out of the backfield is a problem. So they can do a plethora of different things. We just got to make sure that we stick to what we do, keep our eyes right, and make sure we eliminate explosive plays. That's the biggest thing.
Have there been many adjustments and changes in how you run this defense, little additions to the defensive line, for instance, in ways of getting pressure, or obviously you're not going to go into too much detail on this?
Yeah, no, I mean we do that all the way throughout the season, and but most of it, we try to keep it same because we don't want to, diverge too far from what we do. Sometimes you get in a big game and that can be a problem. But we got a little mixture of everything.
Just lastly, on head coach Andy Reid, I mean, it does seem like the NFL dad, if you will. Everybody is, it was touched on earlier, everyone's kind of pulling together for him, but you've worked with him for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, how much would it mean to him and mean to you as well to help him get that right?
Yeah, I can speak for myself that I'm indebted to Andy for bringing me into this league. In 1999, he gave me a job to work with the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's allowed me to go on, and I've been blessed with the things that have happened for me. And I owe that to Andy. I'd love to be able to somehow be a part of getting the Super Bowl.
Man, no. That's no shirt and tie. No shirt and tie means, we come in, it's white tees. White tee means the hoop shorts. That's all that's allowed at these means, man. And, you got to bring your playbook. That's the first thing you got to bring. It's the playbook, white tee, hoop shorts. And, Tyrann usually comes out and does his thing, man. He puts a lot of input on the plays and, the pressures we should run and the direction we should slide away to take the whole offensive line so that he can run, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. His heart. Coach Reid has a pure heart. And as a coach, I played for Pete Carroll. And I played for some great coaches in college. But, Coach Reid, his heart, man, it's like gold. The things he's been through so much. He's been through some stuff. You hear about guys like myself going through, in our interviews and stuff, and just dealing with his family and things he's had to overcome, with his son and stuff like that. It's like a true inspiration. He's a true inspiration to a lot of us, out here who really, need that guidance, who can understand the struggle. And it's just hats off to Coach and everything he does for us. It's the little things that people don't understand that he does for us that that gives us that extra edge. Yeah, that's the one thing, if it's not getting myself one, it's definitely getting the coach to the Super Bowl. He's been doing this for years, man, at a high level. He's produced so many great players. He's produced more champions than anyone probably, man. And the fact that he doesn't have a Super Bowl when you sit and think about it as a head coach is kind of crazy, But there's nothing more in this world I want to do but get Coach a Super Bowl ring. Appreciate it. Just execution and preparation. That's the one thing I learned being in Seattle is just how to prepare to the highest level, and to my maximum capabilities. And I had true vets. Honestly, I can go down the list. Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill, Richard Sherman. These are all my vets. Bobby Wagner was one of the younger guys, but I had guys who knew about some football, who had won football, who had played, on the highest stage, going to one Super Bowl and winning it, then going right back the next year. So they prepared me for things like this, mentally. I understand the mental battles that come with it, and where your mind has to be in, the space it has to be in, to be successful in times like this. I appreciate you, man. Hey, how you doing, bro?
It's very, very set of how they do it, but you have to go out there with kind of an open mindset when you're talking about things like that. But it's something that we really probably wouldn't like to do, but we'll see whenever the time comes around. Yeah, I think it's amazing to be able to go international and play football games. I think watching all the games in London, I haven't got to experience one yet. I got to go to Mexico and experience that atmosphere. But you see the support that we have worldwide. and how football can really transcend to be a worldwide sport that kids can play everywhere. And so you're seeing that now with how we go over to London and have these sold out games, and then you're seeing guys coming from other countries and being able to play in our league, and how that it's really made the NFL a worldwide sport. I don't have any connection to Germany. I'm hoping that I might be able to get over there this off season if everything works out the right way. But I have not had a connection or been able to go over to Germany. But I got to talk to a few people from Bayern Munich and stuff like that. Yeah, I've messaged some guys through Instagram, but it's I just try to kind of keep that to myself. But really, it's a thing where you love to show respect for guys that are at the top of their craft in every single sport. And my girlfriend played soccer in Iceland, and her friend played in Sweden, and so I got to see how much soccer transcends and it is worldwide. And so just to have so much respect for those guys and how much they work to be at where they're at. No, I don't believe so, unless she hasn't told me yet. I think all that kind of translates to every sport. I mean, going out there and playing every sport, you have to learn how to compete. You have to learn how to find ways to win in different ways. And so I think when I get to football, I really I've done that. I've tried to find ways to win in different ways, no matter which way it is. And having that competitive mindset has definitely helped me on the field.
Star Wars ride, you go on the parade, you do some media, and then you fly home. Or wherever you need to go, you say, I need to go to Jersey to see my family, you fly to Jersey. And then when you want to come back with your family or whoever for a regular vacation, without the press and stuff, you come back to Disney World, and then we'd also send you to Disneyland in California. So just for compensation, it's 75 for the whole thing, 40 for the commercial, and then 35 to come to the park, or vice versa. I can't remember which one is 40 and 35. But anyway, so it's a fun day. You know, we did it with Phil Simms in '87, and have done it almost every year since then. Last year was Brady and Edelman came to the park, so it was pretty fun. So I've got this contract here. It's been sent to your agent too.
I can't speak for them, so you have to ask some of these guys. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of let Coach Reid call it. I think that's the biggest thing. He has an aggressive mindset in general, so a lot of times we're on the same page. But you have to understand the flow of the game, understand what we're doing, and I think Coach Reid has a good handle on that. I didn't know that, so I'm about to make sure I know that going into next season, because I didn't get that memo from the defensive guys. I want to talk to them about that. Yeah, I think I've been the same as I always have, just enjoying it. I enjoy every week. I enjoy every opportunity that I get. I mean, it's a blessing to be here. It's a blessing to be on this stage. And so I think having that mindset has helped me be who I am and go out there and just try to have fun every step of the way. No, I've slept pretty good. I don't think I've had any dreams. And so I think I just have the same mindset I always have. I'm big on visualization, so when I lay down, I'll visualize stuff. How I think the game could go here and there, here and there, this way, that way. But I haven't had any dreams or anything like that. Yeah, I think it's been really good. I mean, I went through the same process that I would do any other game week. Obviously, I've had to do a little bit more media and stuff like that, but I just enjoyed it. I believe it's a blessing to be here, and so for me, I just try to keep it the same as I usually have, and every step of the way, I've had guys around me that have kind of guided me the right way to go out there and have success. Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to win. I mean, when you put in the work in training camp, OTAs, and even the beginning of the season, you want to be here, having the chance to play for this game. And so for us, we want to go out there and win it, not only for us, for our coaches, for Kansas City, and to go out there and have a memorable thing that we could always remember. One word, I would just say, I'd say legacy. I mean, when you have guys like Lamar Hunt, who started this organization, and the Hunt family, and then guys like Coach Reid, and then the guys that are on this team now, I feel like we have a great legacy here that we're going to try to keep building every single step of the way. That's his. He might wear that this week, and that's his Miami Vice style. It seems like he had a couple chains on with a nice open T-shirt with the hair on the chest showing. Ooh, that's the. I don't know how to go with that one. All I know is he's got a nice, looks like a suede maybe. I don't know. So.
Maybe underutilized or underappreciated about the fullback position, and maybe more teams should recognize.
I think a lot of us can catch the ball, a lot of the backfield, but I think the more we can get the ball caught, it'll be better for us.
So I'll let this guy take over. Jump in.
Don't ask me this stuff.
This is Tyrann Mathieu, and we are here with Anthony Sherman. Sherman, I have a few questions for you. Fullbacks are the most underused position in the league. What do you have to say? Being a Pro Bowl fullback, what do you have to say to other teams around the league about fullbacks?
You know, if you just look into this game right now, there's two fullbacks in this game. So I think last year there was one, and if you want to be in the Super Bowl, you might want to have the fullback on your roster.
Good point. Next question. Anthony Sherman, can fullbacks become washed up?
Excuse me?
Can fullbacks become washed up?
I can't hear you. You're mumbling into the mic.
Can fullbacks become washed up?
Oh, you want to go there? I don't know. It would be hard to find one that has been so far. So, Gary, listen, guy behind the camera. You want to talk? Then go talk. You want to talk?
I got one more question. Last question.
You got real media here that want to do this.
I got another question for you, bro.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Your cameraman stopped.
Okay, come on, bro. Like, this is going to be big. I got you right here, man. I appreciate it. All right, so you've been in the league 9 years, right? You've always been a special teams kind of guy, you know. Great, tremendous fullback your whole career. But special teams is where I met you at, right? Correct? How does a guy like you approach each and every week, knowing that you may get limited snaps on offense, but knowing that you have to approach special teams, you know, yada, yada, yada.
I'll answer it for you. I'll help you out. I think the biggest thing is any way that I can get on the field and help this team win is what I'm trying to do. So if it's, 2 plays on offense and 15 on special teams, I'm going to try to make every one of those 15 on special teams matter and count.
Why do you have an X on your hand?
Don't worry about that.
Why do you have an X on your hand?
No.
Be able to go out there and be who you are, and so there's always pressure. But I think I've found a great understanding of going out there, understanding that pressure, but at the same time being who I am and just knowing that it's going to be one play at a time, and you have to go out there and have fun doing it. No, exactly. Thank you. How much time do I got?